So, welcome to our regular iSpring webinar series where we discuss e-learning trends, share tips and tricks, and highlight client success stories. My name is Kate. I'm a community manager at iSpring, and I will be your moderator for today's session. And today we have one of our course improvement sessions where we show real-life examples of courses and upgrade them in real time. Over the next hour, we will explain in detail how to apply some of the tricks we use to make the courses more interactive and visually appealing. And now let me introduce you to our senior instructional designer and your speaker for the day, Anna Poli. Hi, Anna. How are you doing today?
Hi, Kate. I'm doing awesome. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling great and I'm very excited about today's webinar.
I think we can start. So, hello, everyone, once again. Welcome to our e course crash test session. Today, together, we will learn the basic design rules that will improve the quality of your courses so that your learners achieve better results in learning. And how will our work be structured? We will dedicate an hour of the webinar to breaking down the best crash tests. And in the last 30, 40 minutes, we will be happy to show you in detail how to apply some of the tricks that we use to make the courses more interactive. As always, we will use real courses that were created by our customers, and I would like to thank every author of today's courses for providing their work and giving us a chance to improve our skills together. Well, let's start. We will see how some small changes in design improve the whole picture for our learners. And let's begin with our first course. It's a fire safety course. And I love the fact that the color psychology is considered here. The color scheme complies perfectly with the topic since the red and orange colors evoke a sense of anxiety and draw attention to an important subject. However, it's good to remember that red is the most exciting color of the spectrum, so it's better not to use it in the courses where, on the contrary, you need to produce the feeling of confidence or calmness. For example, this color will no longer be appropriate in a course devoted to emotional intelligence. For this course, I would also recommend changing the content position. At present, it's rather spaced out on the slide, leading to very little free space left. And it's difficult to our brain to acquire information in this case, as there is a glut of data. At least 20% of your slide should be left blank. So to make your slides more alive and to um, let it breathe. So to do this, you can increase the space from the slide edges to the text and slightly reduce the font size. And let's see how we can avoid this kind of a cognitive like brain load in our courses. So we've arranged the content differently to add more space to the slide. So now it can breathe. Moreover, there was no title slide in the original course. That's why we've added it. Let me note, but it's essential for the course to have a cover page because it helps our learner to better understand what to expect. It also will be great if you can add some additional information to your cover slide, such as the course duration, availability of audio or video files, or complexity level. Because these details will help your learners to prepare for the study of materials better. And another important component is the course player. So you can see various buttons that will help the learner to navigate through the course. Now, let's compare two slides. One slide on the left is before our changes, and one on the right is after them. To rearrange slide content, they've used a great approach called visual hierarchy. So, this method is initially based on the Gestalt psychological theory, but it compares to users' visual perception of elements in relation to each other, and which demonstrates how people tend to combine the visual elements into several groups. So, the visual hierarchy method is aimed at presenting the content so that the brain could distinguish the items of the slide on the basis of their differences, such as size, color, contrast, and style. For example, on the right, the title has more weight than the main text due to the differences in the font size and style. So now it's for us, it's kind of obvious which one is the title and how exactly we need to follow the text on the slide. So, what I think about those changes, is there anything else you would like to change? Or probably you love the version before? Feel free to let us know in the chat. Please share your opinion and let me know what you think about this. Okay, now let's compare two more slides from the same course. Okay, here we go. On the left, information is provided on four separate slides. They have presented the same information using interaction in iSpring Suite. Because first, it saves a lot of time since these kind of interactions can be created in a couple of minutes. And secondly, this way of presenting information is more engaging for our learner. Moreover, the student gets the feeling that they are studying information in a batch-wise manner on one slide. And in this case, it's easier for our brain than a separate examination of four slides. Okay, so let me quickly go through the chat just to see how we can do this. Okay, so what platform was used to create this slide? It was iSpring Suite. Okay, let's see which slide you preferred. Liz mentioned in the second one. Okay, and Christopher told like the right slide, except the font size is too small. Okay, you got a point. That's okay. You can definitely increase the font size if you want to. Okay. Okay, and we have some more slides, comments like this. Agree, font is too small on the after slide. Okay, thank you. Thank you for being active and for your point, for sharing your opinion. Yes, you can definitely make it larger if you want to. Okay, now let's move on to the next slide of my presentation. Now, you know, one more second. Okay, here we go. Now let's recap the advice from course number 1. So consider color psychology. Remember, color is an important design tool. This is how you can attract the attention of the student or convey the necessary emotions or evoke associations. Leave at least 20% of the slide blank to not overwhelm users with lots of data on the slide. It's important to add a title slide to a course because it helps our learners to better understand what to expect from the learning material. Course player is another important thing since it helps the learners to navigate through the course. And last but not least, you need to present the content on the slide following the visual hierarchy so that the learners could determine the level of importance for each element. So if you have a lot of information, including diagrams and charts in your course, I recommend that you take a closer look at the interactions. iSpring Suite includes 14 interaction templates for a variety of learning situations. They can be used to visualize information and engage employees in the learning process. For example, interactions can help you to illustrate the stages of product development, transaction cycles, or the history of your company. So, in addition to graphs and charts, any theoretical information can be placed in the interaction. Let's look at the example from the diversity and inclusion course. Here we've packed information into the labeled graphic interaction type. Okay, so we just click on the errors and we can read the description. So the advantage of the content created in iSpring Suite is also that it adjusts to different devices. So this is how the same interaction from the previous slide is played from the mobile devices. So you can navigate through the interaction using the buttons inside the interaction, just by errors, as well as the next and previous buttons in the course player. Okay, now let's take a look at the next course. Okay, so here we go. So it's great with some authors are using slide templates. For example, here we have templates from the iSpring content library because they help you quickly present your content without wasting time on design issues. However, we strongly recommend that you use templates in only one style in one course, um, just because it will help you to avoid clutter of different styles like mashup in one course. After all, each template has its own set of fonts and its own color scheme. In the training course, it's important to ensure that you have no more than two fonts and the color palette is consistent from the very first to the very last slide of your course. Okay, let me show you how we tuned up this course. So you can see my personal favorite trick here. We have replaced the stock image with a video file for the title slide. A video that is used as a background, as for me, is a great way to gain attention as it makes the slide more dynamic. However, at the same time, we recommend using this trick only on the title slide or on the slides where there's not too much content. Now, let's compare two slides from our second course. So we can see small white figures on the left slide from the original course. Such stock images are considered to be kind of outdated. So we highly recommend avoiding them in your courses. We've replaced it with a more realistic photo as you can see it on the right. We also added icons to make the text more readable. You can use built-in bullet points for listening. That's okay. But as one of the tricks how to make your presentation even better, I can recommend that you download some different icons which you can use for your courses. Or maybe you can use icons from the iSpring content library. Just recolor them if necessary, and that's it. So now let's take a look at our summary for course number 2. Use templates of one slide style in a course to avoid clutter of styles. It's better to use no more than 2 fonts in a course to save the harmonious look. Make sure the color palette is consistent throughout the entire course. Don't use outdated stock photos. And remember that each image or any other elements on the slide has to convey a meaning. And use icons for listening things to make the text more readable. Okay, are you ready for the next course? Because I am moving to it. Okay, so this is a title slide of our next course. And I would like to point out one more time that adding a title slide is essential to let users quickly understand what this course is about. In this course, I would recommend changing the slide size from 4 to 3 to a widescreen format, which is 16 to 9, just to take the course comfortably using any device, including smartphones. So let's see how this title slide can be transformed. So here we've used a widescreen format. We've also changed the background and taken an image from the unsplash.com website. There are a lot of stock services where you can find a picture which will fit any of your courses. The Unsplash is just one of my favorites, but you're more than welcome to use whichever service you prefer. But before using it, please remember that not all stock images are good to use. So when looking for images, I recommend starting with the color palette of your course. For example, this lilac and blue image goes well with the accent colors which are blue and red in our course. And before we go on, I would like to ask you if you take images and photos for your courses at some websites, or if you use your own photo collection, or for example, your company's photo collection. If you take materials from open sources, which is which one is your favorite website to look at them? So our team has a list of websites that we use to search for some quality images, and we will share this list today in our LinkedIn group, so feel free to join. You're more than welcome to do this. Okay, let me quickly take a look in the chat. Okay, so let me just read out loud some websites like Flat Icon, Paxos, and FreePic, Unsplash. Yes, they used unsplash.com. In Beto Elements, iStoke is paid but has a ton of images and search options. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your your favorite resources. That's amazing. Okay. I'm just kind of a little bit surprised, but there is no AI tools yet. But that's a different kind of story, right? Okay. Oh, and Matt told I was going to say Midjourney for AI generated images. Yeah, that's a good one. That's like magic happens, right? When you have a picture from completely blank space. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining, for being so active. Now let's move on to our course. Okay, now let's talk about slide format in more detail. So I mentioned that we recommend to use a widescreen format, also called 16 to 9 for your PowerPoint slides. Um, I cannot forbid you to use 4 to 3 format, but I need to mention that we recommend to avoid using the 4 to 3 format since it's kind of outdated format but was used for displaying presentations with a projector. So right now it's better not to use that for a training course because it can be inconvenient for a learner to view the course in this format from a mobile device. Widescreen, which is 16 to 9, will expand the screen boundaries of the slide and let you have more space for text, photos, graphics, and different media. So you need to remember that at least 20% of the slide should be blank so that the learners comprehend the information better. So I encourage you to use 16 to 9 format. So let's not limit our workspace, right? So this is why I recommend 16 to 9. Okay, now let's continue with the next slide of this course. So this slide shows a quiz. However, unfortunately, it's not possible to click on the answer option to get feedback. And the correct answers are shown on the next slide. So you just, mm, there are no additional hyperlinks or something. And moreover, if you want to provide the feedback to a quiz in PowerPoint, let's say for every answer option, in this case, you will need to add 6 more slides. So how can we change this? How we can make it more interactive? How we can make it a powerful tool that will engage our learners? So I recommend turning this static quiz into an interactive one. And let's use iSpring Suite offering tool to do so. Let me show you the results. So now the student can review the wording of the question and the answers, click on the options that are correct in their opinion, and receive feedback. So this format engage the person more, as the learner is no longer just a passive observer, but actively participates in the educational process. And you can also add feedback to each answer option on the same slide. So on this slide right now, we can see um, multiple response question, and this is a basic question type which can be used in every quiz. So how you can make your quiz even more engaging? So iSpring provides different types of questions. You can use multiple response, matching, sequence, or hotspot question types. in your course. And if you want your users to interact with the course even more, you can choose the drag and drop questions. They're perfect for non-standard tasks such as sorting words into columns or selecting and dragging the correct fire extinguisher to the area that's on fire. We will talk about um, drag and drop question type more. We will do it today, so stay tuned. Okay, let's take a look at the next slide from the original course. I would like to note that the style is well maintained throughout the course. No more than two accent colors are used, and they have illustrations from the same collection. That's a good one. But let's take a closer look at the hierarchy. So here we see that the title text and the text of the examples have different font sizes and font thickness. And this is amazing, right? But we can see those changes, those differences. But it's still very important to make the headings the most significant element of the slide because they need that it immediately attracts users' attention. So here are two subheadings: corruption and integrity, complete with the heading, which is corruption versus integrity, for attention, since their font is larger than the main heading font. So we definitely need to fix this. So if we talk about visual hierarchy, this is um, by visuals, by different styles, sizes, colors. We need to let our learners know where to look at the first, uh, where the eye should be glanced, and the second, third, and etc. and etc. So the title is definitely the main element on the slide. So let me show you how we can fix this. So we changed the heading font size to 32 points and subheadings font size to 28 points. The explanation under the heading was made less active since it's clear from the design and from the heading that we will be comparing corruption and integrity. Instead of illustrations, we added icons from the iSpring content library because icons, they are easier to work with as they can be recolored, resized without losing quality. Also here we decided to use the accent colors to our advantage to better read the difference between the left and right columns. If both headings were placed, um, for example, on the blue background, then we will not be able to immediately read the difference between these two blocks. And now we can. So now I would like to develop this slide version even further and make it interactive. So let me show you how we can do this. So this slide will start now. And here we don't have a static slide because we've turned the red and blue boxes into buttons. We just click on the one we need and get a portion of the information. This can be done by duplicating slides and setting up hyperlinks between them, or you can set this all up on one slide using triggers and animations. Because such techniques involve users learning a lot. So I encourage you to use it in your courses. Now, let's compare two versions of this slide. Look at them and vote which one before or after you like more. So, Kate, can you please launch a poll for us so our participants will be able to vote? So, which version do you like more, before or after? That's totally fine if you like the before version more. So feel free to select this version if you like this one. Okay, I will have some water if you don't mind. So I'll mute myself for a moment. Okay, 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds for voting. Okay. Okay, so that's it. So as far as I can see, the after version phone, but some of you still prefer the version before, and that's great. Just let me know why, and you can more than welcome to send it in the chat. What do you think about this? Okay, so no worries. There was no correct answer at all. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on and let's sum up what we've learned from course number 3. Okay, so select widescreen format 16 to 9. It will expand the screen boundaries and give you more space on the slide. And courses in this format are more convenient to take on a smartphone. Choose images matching the color scheme to save a harmonious look. Turn static tasks into interactive ones to engage learners even more. This iSpring, it will also save tons of time. Attract users' attention to the title by making it the most significant element of the slide. And last but not least, use animations and triggers on the slides to involve users in learning, but do not overuse them. A lot of triggers and animations can irritate learners after a few slides. So please remember that the balance is the key. Okay, so let me read some comments from the chat about the previous slide comparison. So I think that I will use a down arrow icon in the far right side of the button to indicate that the buttons are clickable. That sounds like an amazing idea. So yes, you can definitely do this. Okay. Font is still too small, which worries me in regard to accessibility. Um, yes, accessibility is a very, very important part of um, modern education, right? And with iSpring, you can also create accessible courses, which will have like simplified view and which will be, I believe, a more convenient for your learners to take these kind of courses. But yeah, this up to you, whichever font size you would like to use. I just recommend that it will not be smaller than 16 because otherwise it will not be helpful, not will be very helpful for your learners, not very convenient to take courses like this. Just remember that your font size should be more than 16 points. Okay. Okay, now let's move on um, to the next course preview. And here too, I would suggest turn into the iSpring Suite interactions because the course contains a lot of theoretical material. consisting of the text, pictures, diagrams, and charts. So when you add several schemes or pictures to one slide, you can get an overload effect. And for sure, that's not that good, right? We need to make it easier for our learners to understand what is going on on the slide. So, moreover, if you have a lot of information on one slide, it's hard to understand for learners where to look and in which order. So it's pretty hard to follow the visual hierarchy. Um, so therefore, interaction is very helpful because the information can be divided into several portions. It is also important to work on the text in this course because right now black text on the gray background is not good enough because there's not enough contrast. So let's move on and let's see how we change this course. So in addition to adding interaction, we rebuilt the title slide to make it look more modern. We left only blue, white, and black colors. We removed the gray background and the problem of lack of contrast was immediately solved. Now the text can be read better. We also created the tabs interaction, and I would call like this type of interactions universal since it fits most courses and tasks. So you can see it right now on the slide. The tab interaction. Okay, now it's time um, to comparison once again. On the left, we can see the slide before, and on the right, there's a slide after our transformations. The first thing we did when we built in this slide was to place a header closer to the main text. This way, we followed the proximity rule. And I will tell you more about it in just a moment. But this rule is based on the proximity principle in Gestalt psychology. So, object placed nearby are perceived as objects with connected meanings. So, before we dive into the theory on this topic, I would like to know if you already heard about this principle. So, Kate, can you please launch a poll for our attendees? And guys, please let me know if you already know about proximity rule. So, yes, and you know about this and use it in your courses. Yes, you heard about this, but don't use it too much in practice. No, you didn't heard about this, or maybe you have your own answer option. So if you have one, feel free to send it in the chat. Okay. Okay. 5 more seconds. Okay. So the answer no one. So, and it's kind of cool because I have a possibility, an opportunity to teach you something today, right? So there was no right answer to in this poll. So we came today to learn something new and let's do this together. Okay, um, let me show you how this principle works. Here we go. So in the picture on the left, this, this one, where the difference between the objects are the same, in this case, we perceive them as one large semantic group. And if you take a look at the picture on the right, this one, they can see three groups of objects which are already formed because we have increased the distance between the objects. Consequently, the farther the objects are from each other, the less connection is between them. And vice versa. The closer the objects are to each other, the more connected they are by meaning. So, sounds good? Does it make sense? So, any emoji in the chat will be amazing. Okay, good, good. Thank you for letting me know. Now, this okay. We have this proximity rule, but what's next? Let me show you how this principle work in text. So equal spacing between the heading and the previous paragraph, like here, will confuse the learner. He will not understand what is what. Therefore, try to place the title closer to the paragraph to which it refers, as shown in the example on the screen on the right. In this case, it will be obvious, right? For the learner and for ourselves, this, about what this paragraph will be. Okay, now let's go back to comparing our slides. On the left slide, the header is too far away from the text, right? We should essentially form one semantic group. So the proximity rule is violated on this slide. On the right side, the proximity rule is followed. Another advantage of this layout is that the picture doesn't cut our slide into two parts. Being on the right, it complements the text. On similar slides where you have both the text and the picture, I recommend placing the text on the left if the text is the main object. And if it's more important to show the picture, put the picture on the left. You might ask, why is this so? So I have an answer for you. So it's all about the order in which we read the information. Research shows that most of us study the information at the upper left point first and look at the content in the Z direction until all the information is read. So that's it. The starting point is always in the upper left corner. Therefore, it's important to place the key element of the slide there. But don't forget about the cultural and background differences of the learners. For example, this left to right concept most likely won't work for Arab cultures, since their language is based on the right to left concept. So if you create courses for Arab cultures, you need to do everything that I mentioned, but just vice versa. Start in the upper right corner and go to the left. Okay, but let's go back to our course. And um, I also want to mention that in these types of courses, the main thing in the slide will always be the title. That's why the top left position is perfect for the header. Okay, what have we learned from course number 4? Use interactions to divide information into several portions for better understanding. Do not overload your learners. There's a lot of information. Make text readable by using contrast color for text and background. Follow the proximity rule. Now you know this. Place the main object on the left and closer to the top. For example, header. And for sure, remember about cultural and background differences of your learners. So know your target audience. Okay, now it's time for the next course. So here is the next course, and I would like to note that here the unity of style is kept from the very first slide to the last one, the same colors, fonts, and illustrations from the same collection I used. But as with the previously viewed courses, there is a in great lack of involvement in learning. This can be improved in different ways, but we will again turn to the technically simplest one, interactions. So let's see what we've got here. Uh, we created a glossary of terms. Whoopsie, whoopsie. Let me go back. So we created a glossary of terms. It's much easier to learn them one by one. And with the search field and the list on the left, you can quickly find a term which you need. Furthermore, we decided to supplement the theoretical information with a practical task. And this task is designed more to engage in practice than to test. So, if you want to increase the effectiveness of your learning, I highly recommend breaking up the dry theory, there's such small interactive tasks. And let's take a look at it in comparison. Okay, so on the right, we can see a question type called drag and drop question that was created in iSpring Suite afferent tool. And this is a great question type when we need to create an out-of-the-box task and increase engagement in learning. And you can drag and drop not only text, but also pictures and shapes. So your creativity is almost unlimited. Also, it's important, it's possible to provide feedback in the quiz questions. So these help you reduce the distance between the teacher or mentor and the learner. For every question and every answer, you can add individual feedback. And you can also add additional theory, video, or audio to this feedback. And not only to the feedback, the question itself, you can do this too. And if the answer is wrong, the learner can retake the material before the next attempt. So let's take a look at the summary of what we discussed in course number 5. So create a glossary if you have many terms in the course. Supplement the theoretical information with a practical task to increase the effectiveness of learning. Use drag and drop question to create an out of the box task and increase engagement in learning. And for sure, last but not least, provide feedback in the quiz to reduce the distance between the teacher and the learner. Okay, I quickly see one question in the chat. Was a glossary created by using a specific interaction? Yes. It was created in iSpring and we used interactions. We used the glossary interaction type. Hope this helps. Okay, since the theoretical part of our webinar is only 1 hour long, it's impossible to cover all design rules and life hacks on how to enhance your courses. But don't worry, if you want to get helpful tips on how to avoid mistakes, to speed up course development, and stay fresh on latest trends in instructional design, our video course is perfect for you. So click on the link in the left bottom corner to learn more about the course. And we have a special offer for you today. We would like to give you a 10% discount on the course's best plan, Pro Plan, that combines theory and practice. By the end of the course, you will learn fundamental principles for creating effective courses, instructional design theories and methods. You will learn course development stages, how to create measurable and observable learning objectives, and for sure, how to storyboard and script your course. The discount is valid till April 11th, so just follow the link in the chat to use the discount. I believe that my colleagues will share a link in the chat in just a moment, or feel free to click on the button in the left um, corner to do not miss a chance to enhance your skills in instructional design. Okay, so we also right now it's time to move on and start our practice session. So before, I know in our previous webinars, you requested for practice a lot. So here we go. We added some practice parts to our crash test. And what are we going to do there? We are going to create slides using tips which I shared with you today, and I will show you how you can make the same changes which we did. So I hope that you're excited, but if you need to go, that's totally fine. We totally understand. But my colleague will share a link to the survey so you can give us your feedback about the webinar, and we will be we will be able to improve our webinars in the future. Okay, so Kate, please share a link to the survey in the chat. Okay, so we will be very, very thankful if you can give us some feedback. Okay, but I will move on and move to the practice. It will take 30 or 40 minutes. So after that, we will send you the recording. But if you would like to stay and um, ask your questions, you're more than welcome to do this. Okay, no time for talking. Let's move on. So the first thing that I want to show you is how you can customize a player. So when you publish your course with iSpring, um, all the courses will be automatically wrapped into the iSpring player. Just as a course which I showed you today as the updated course, which is right now on your screen. So it's now, so you can review it once again. As you can see, what do we have here? We have the outline button right here. So if we click on it, we will be able to see the list of all the slides. You can see the play button, the speed changing button, the volume button, and the previous and next buttons. All of them are part of the iSpring player. And for sure, we love to make our life a little bit difficult, right? So we have a description of our course for which we need to make a player. Um, let's quickly review them, and after that, we will together set up a player for it. So, our course has voiceovers. Learners cannot skip slides. No resources and presenter. Player has to be incorporate colors. Okay, amazing. So I will go to my PowerPoint. I will just do something like this, okay? So you will be able to see it bigger and no spoilers. So I switch to the iSpring Suite tab right here. And to set up the player, I go to the player. Okay, it can take some time to load.
Uh, Anna, so I'm sorry. What do you share right now? Because we see only
Okay,
slides. Yeah.
I got it. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me back to the
Yeah, I'm
earth.
sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting, but
No worries. That's okay. Thank you. Thank you for doing this. It should work now.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
finally. Okay, amazing. So let's go quickly once again. So here you can select one of the layouts for your course or create your custom layout right here. So as soon as we have requirements, we will go ahead. So for the top bar, we will start with the top bar. I will just make sure I will turn it on, but as soon as we don't have resources in presenter, I will just make sure that they are not selected here. Okay, now let's go to bottom bar. So here we need to select outline. Make sure that the play and pause, playback speed options, replay volume option is selected. So I will unselect full screen. And the previous and next options are selected. Okay, we done here. Now let's time for the progress bar. And I will just make sure that the enable navigation option is unselected. So it means that my learners will not be able to quickly like go through um, the entire course without like fast forwarding, you know. Now I cannot just drag and drop it and I will not be forwarded to another slide in my course. Okay. So I will save it as it is. If you want, you can add some more tabs, change the outline so it will not appear here. It will appear somewhere on the side. I will just leave it as it is and click save. Now, the next thing which I want to set up, the next requirement that we have is that learners cannot go to the next slide until they view the current slide entirely. So to do this, I need to go to navigation right here. And in the navigation drop-down list, I will select limited here. So if I add voiceover using managed narration in iSpring, or if I set up the time for displaying of my slide, I will not be able to go to the next slide until I view the slide, the current slide entirely. Okay, and now it's time to set the color theme, right? Let's go back to the design slide right here. And here you can select one of the already like created presets. Here we have some gradient. So you can select whichever you want to. If you want to create um, um, your own design, your own theme, your own colors, so you need to select the preset first. I will select the dark red, and after that I will click create a custom scheme. So the dark red will be kind of like a base for my future color scheme. Okay, now as you can see, you can give it a name, save it to use it in your courses, like next courses, and you can also assign courses for uh, sorry, assign colors to specific buttons, tabs, and so on, borders, whatever think you want to. So I will set up, I have a list of colors which I would like to set. So I will quickly apply it. We'll do it very, very quickly. So let me top bar player background. It will apply some colors according to our brand book, where we have all the colors for our kind of company, for our company, which we created. Oh my. Um, okay, and now let's move on for button fill of my primary buttons. So color one, it will be gradient, color one. And now let's set up color number two. Okay, here we go. Um, and for button border, I will set up the transparency. Right now it already said, but we set up a transparency to 100%, so it will not appear. So if necessary, you can apply a transparency to your colors as well. Okay, so a couple more settings. Oops. Set vertical and select other color right here. Oops. Here we go. Okay. So you can also set up for other buttons. I will just show you so you will get an idea of how you can assign colors. Okay. I will click save. And now to save our settings, we just need to click apply and close to go back to the course. But one more thing that I want to mention is that you can import or export all of the settings set up in your player. So it will be exported as a file which you can send to your colleague, and they can import this file to their iSpring suite and use it for their courses as well. So in this case, you will be sure that all of their courses incorporate style. Okay, here we go. So we also talk a lot today about widescreen format, right? This one, this guy. So we recommend to use it so users can view the course on any device, and you have um, more space for your imagination, for some text, audio, video, and etc. So how you can set up widescreen. So to do this, you need to go to the design, go to slide size, and here you need to select widescreen. And that's it. I also saw some questions about the widescreen and the chat. I'm not sure if this person is still here, but this is not about sizes. It's about ratio, like 16:9. Um, yeah, so this is what I wanted to tell you. So the next thing that we are going to talk about is the content library. I mentioned it so many times today, but it's time to show you how it will work. Um, so I also showed you some slides where we inserted objects from our library, like these icons and these characters. So let me show you how it will work. So here, I have the pre-made slide where I'm going to add some icons and vision, which I'm going to improve using iSpring content library. So first, I'm going to add some icons to our list. So to open the library of icons, I need to click where it says iSpring Suite first for sure. Then go to icons on the iSpring ribbon. So what do we have here? Oops. What do we have here? Wood and paper. So I want to add some paper icon to it. You can find a necessary icon by filtering all the icons, or you can just use the search line. I'm going to use filters. So first of all, I will select icons here. Okay. And now the next thing I'm going to do, objects and sub-objects. Now let's scroll down a little bit and I will select notes like the paper, right? You can double click on it to insert it to your slide or just select it and go to insert. I will use this method. Okay, and now let's add it right here. Okay, the first icon is here. Now let's add an icon for electric appliance. So we need to go to icons again. And for electric appliance, I will use an icon of a computer. So um, in this case, I will use a search line and I will just set up laptop. Okay, and we're going to use this one. Oops, move it to the right place. Here we go. And last but not least, plastics. So go to icons again. And in the search field, I will add cosmetics and select this icon. So all of them in one style. Move it to the right place here. And awesome. Here we go. Um, all the icons which you inserted from the library, um, they will be added as shapes. So it means that you can recolor them in the same way as you usually do with shapes in PowerPoint. So let's go ahead and recolor them. I will just select all of them right here just by using the control button and selecting objects on the slide. Then we go to format, go to shade fill, and let's select, I don't know, let's select this one. Okay, now let's quickly add a character. So how you can do this, go to the iSpring suite again, go to character. Here you can, in the same way as it was with icons, you can use filters to find the right character in the library to use a photo or illustration or probably create your own custom character. So we need a fireman. Okay, let's see which one we want to. Okay, I will select this one. Here we go. Let's, I'm so sorry to do this. Let's crop this picture of our fireman. Okay, let's a little bit right here and let's go ahead and resize it. Okay, here we go. So this is how you can add characters and icons to your slides. And this is how we did in our courses, in and in the updated course as well. Okay, let's move on to the next improvement which I showed you today. I told you about practice. So if you want that your learners will be more involved in the learning process, you need to add some practice after the theoretical parts of your course. And let me show you how you can turn static slides, these questions, into interactive quizzes with iSpring. So first of all, to add a quiz to your course, you need to create a brand new slide. So I already have it. Then go to the iSpring suite and go to the quiz. So with iSpring, you can create graded quizzes and surveys. Graded quizzes help you see how your users are progressing by assigning points to your learners' answers. Surveys, they help you to collect information from your learners, like some data, feedback, uh, something like this. There are no correct or incorrect answers. Your learners just sharing their opinion. So for sure, we are going this graded quiz. So I will create two questions today, and they will start this multiple response question because this is the one of the most popular question types which can actually fit any question for any purpose. Okay, so to add a question, I need to click where it says question and select multiple response question. Now I need to add the question and answer options themselves. So I will, let me quickly find my pre-made folder on my computer. Okay, so give me just a moment. I will quickly find it. Okay, I have a file. There's all the information on my second screen, so don't worry. Okay, now I will quickly add a question here. Okay, good. And add answer choices, answer options. Okay, we can go this one, then this one, and we will have two more answer options. And last but not least, here we go. So after we added the question, we need to make sure that we selected the right ones, right? So I will set this up. So um, after I selected the correct answer options, now you might notice that there are some additional options for the question type. I can limit how many responses my users can select from the list and select if partially correct answers will be allowed. Also, limit time to answer questions. Uh, One more interesting thing um, that I can set if the scoring is based on the result or the user's answer. So if I select by choice, I can assign points for each answer option. And if I select by result, my users will get points for correct or incorrect answer. Okay, let's move on to creating a drag and drop question type. So I will go to question again and select drag and drop. Okay, here we go. So now I need to switch to the slide view. Here we go. And after that, I will go to insert and select a picture. I will select a picture from my computer. This one, main picture. Here we go. Now, so here we will have the pool of answer options. And from this pool, they need to drag and drop it to the right places for active clients, inactive clients, and etc. So first of all, first thing that we are going to do, we need to add a place on the slide, like make this area like a place where my learners need to drag something. So we need to create a place where a user will need to add an answer. So how are we going to do this? I will show you on the two answer options just to save our time. But you, in the perfect world, you will need to do this for all the four options. So I go to insert, go to shape and select rectangle and just draw a rectangle. Now right click it and go to format shape. Let's set up the color to white. So it will be kind of transparent on the white background, right? And select no line. Now let's copy it and paste it and do the same for negative. Okay, awesome. Now I will right click it and give it a name. Active, and I will set up Q just for a question. So after that, I will be able to quickly select the area. Right click on the negative and give it a name as well. Okay, now it's time to add answer options. I will add them not as a text but as pictures. So I go to insert, go to picture, and select for active. Let's resize it like this. Okay. Put it here in the pool. Right click it and rename it. Active A. For A for answer. And let's go ahead and select another picture for inactive. Let's resize it. Make it a little bit bigger. Great. Move it to the pool. Right click it and rename it to inactive negative answer. Okay, click save. Now we need to make sure that if my learner move this answer to this area, it will be considered as a correct answer. How? You need to set this up. Go back to form view, select what you want to drag. So it will be answer active A to place active Q. And do the same for inactive A to inactive Q. And that's actually it. Now the quiz will know what picture belongs to what shape. That's it. But one more moment here. Let's quickly set up feedback. So feedback is a message which pops up after your learner submitted the answer. So you can congratulate them or let learners know what they need to review the theoretical part once again. So to edit the feedback, I need to click three dots in the correct or incorrect lines. Then the edit window will appear. So I will quickly add a picture here. And Okay, go to picture. Okay, I should have it somewhere here. Okay, I didn't save it, so there will not be any picture in this time. I will just quickly add the text. But if you have a picture, not like me right now, you can definitely add um, the picture, videos, and audio to feedback. Okay, here we go. Now let's save and return to course to save all the changes. Okay, it will appear in a couple of moments. So here we go. The next thing that we're going to talk today, how to work in PowerPoint and in iSpring Quizmaker at the same time. Let me show you what we mean by this. So let's say I open my quiz that I just created, right? Okay, open it up. And then all of a sudden, I realized that I need to insert some text from my PowerPoint directly to my quiz. But if I will try to open any slide, I will just hear this window sound that tells me that I cannot do this because I have this window, this program open and running. What should I do? I will show you in a moment. So after you added a quiz to your PowerPoint presentation, there will be a folder. Okay, let me quickly find it. So here we go. There will be a folder with all the resources for your course. So it has the same name as your presentation and it will be stored in the same location. So if you open it and if you go to quiz, here you will be able to see the quiz files. So if I open this quiz file, it will be the same quiz which we just created. So I can open PowerPoint. Oops. I will open PowerPoint and I can open any slide, copy the text, go to, let's go ahead and create an info slide. Go to my quiz maker and add any information here. But one thing you just need to remember to save the changes. And that's it. If we go back to PowerPoint again and open our quiz directly from presentation, let's make sure that we still have this here. Yeah, we have the info slide and have our text copied from the presentation. So this is how you can work both in Quizmaker and PowerPoint at the same time. This is possible. Okay, now let's take a look at another thing. Okay, so give me just a second. I will quickly open it. Open all the chats and something. Okay, here we go. So now let's talk about interactions. We discussed it a lot, right? A lot today. So interactions are basically just templates which you need to fill in with your information because this feature, this option can help you visualize your information, like present your information in different form. So let me show you how you can create an interaction. So At the same time, in the same way as it was with quizzes, you need to have a brand new slide, an empty one, and go to interaction on the iSpring ribbon. Now click new interaction, and it's time to select what type of interaction you want to use. There are 14 interaction types. And for now, I will select guided image. Okay, so this, this kind of interaction lets you add arrows to your picture. And if your user goes through this interaction, they will be able to read the description for each arrow. This way, you can draw your user's attention to specific detail on the picture. Okay, so what are we gonna do now? First of all, we need to change the picture. This is a default one. We're definitely not gonna use this one. So I will select from picture and select the one from my computer. Here we go. Now let's select label 1, that's label 2, and label 3. If you want to zoom into your picture to make sure that all the errors, I don't know, hotspot are set in the correct way, you can move your mouse to the border between the description and the image areas and drag and drop it to the left. Okay, probably we need to do it something like this. Okay, let's zoom out. And now it's time to add the text to our labels. So here we go for the title and for the description. Okay, so second one and this one. So I will do just 2 arrows just to save our time for today, but for sure you can add more. As per errors, if necessary, you can set up their direction if it's not in the right position. You can change the arrow color. It's definitely, you're more than welcome to do this. Also, here we have the introduction and summary slide, which appear as a pop-up window before or after the interaction. Let's say just like a cover slide for your interaction. Okay, and now let's go to properties to take a look at some general properties. So for the picture position, I will set this up to left because I want to make it the main object. And also I will set up picture width for to 60. Okay, click apply and close, and that's actually it. So you created an interaction. Congratulations. Um, here we go. Okay, now let's save and return to course for our last but not least a trick for today. Sorry. I definitely need some water. This one is my favorite. Oops. Okay, it should appear right now. So how to make this trick, this background video? Let me show you. So first of all, we will go to insert, and I will go ahead and select video from my computer, and insert the video here. Make sure that your video entirely covers the slide. Then after that, you go to insert tab once again, go to shapes and select rectangle. And now draw a rectangle which will cover the video. Right click on it and go to for select bring to front. Right click on it, go to format shape. For the fill, we'll select color. It will be black, and transparency. Let's set this to 7. Oh no, we need more. Okay, let's set to 80. Now let's go home, go to select and select selection pane. Select the video, go to playback, select start automatically, and select rewind after playing. And that's actually it. One more thing you just will need to add. Um, okay, let's do it to 70. Okay. Um, then you can add some text or something, but please remember that it should be um, at the top, so you need to use the option bring to front. Okay, let me show you how it will look like. So if necessary, you can set up transparency even more. Um, I don't know, to make it not that transparent to save the contrast. Okay, let's close it. But this is how this very, very simple trick can be done. Okay, so I think it's all that I have for you for today. So thank you so much for staying till the very, very end.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anna. That was great. So much practice and theory. We had it all today. Yeah, I'm afraid we've already run out of time. I'm not sure if you're still here with us. So we won't have a Q&A session, unfortunately, but you can leave your questions in a survey that I will share right now in the chat. And I would kindly ask to fill out this to help us improve our webinars. And one more thing before we say goodbye, just a little announcement. I want to invite you all to join our annual online conference, iSpring Days, that brings together thousands of attendees and seasoned e-learning professionals. And for 2 days, on the 2nd and 3rd of May, you will learn from top industry speakers sharing their expertise and exploring human centered approaches to training. So, the concept of this year's conference is People Come First, and we're inviting industry experts and everyday users of iSpring to share their expertise, experience, and perspective to address this idea from different angles. And this conference is absolutely free. I will share a link to registration form right now in the chat. So yeah, you're more than welcome to register if you don't want to miss it. And yeah, thank you all for being here. And I hope you have enjoyed. Take care, and I hope to see you next time.